Hello, Mount Hebron community. It's Wednesday. It's time for our next devotional. And this week, we have been talking about trust, how we trust God and how we trust our companions. Our journey of life is crazy and long and exciting, and it's important to have people next to us along the way, whether that be our family, whether that be friends, whether that be our life partner. Lots of folks who come with us and with whom we can talk about the things that matter most to us, because we know that at heart they have our well-being in hand. Now, I also want to acknowledge that there are times when we thought we could trust someone and it hasn't worked out. And that sense of betrayal and pain can be momentary, or it can be really profound based on the relationship. And that's something that we do have to work through. But I never want us to get to the point that when someone betrays us, we stop trusting anybody else. We pull away from God, we pull away from other people. That's dangerous to our well-being. Trust is like a muscle. We know that we are asked to strengthen our muscles in this life, to work on our bodies, to be fit, to exercise everything from our arm and leg muscles and our abs to our heart muscle, and make sure they are strong. And if you think about it, the way we do that is by exercising or practicing often, and by increasing the intensity. By adding extra burden, we might add a longer cardio workout. We might add weights to our strengthening exercises. It's extra burden that helps our muscles grow stronger instead of being stuck with just our body weight and in a spot of inertia. I think that happens for our trust muscles too, because trust is a muscle. It has to be exercised. It has to be practiced in order for it to grow. And if we abandon it, or if we let it succumb to inertia, and we don't really do much with our trust, then it's going to kind of become flabby and worn out and not very useful. Trusting God takes a little while for us to learn. Part of it is because we have things that we know we want, and God doesn't always send those. And we have to come to the point where we realize that God knows best. That's happened to me by personal experience, where I've prayed for something for a long time. God hasn't answered it. God ended up giving me something else. And I thought, this is not right at all. And then I learned that it was completely right. My call to ministry was that way. I was going to be a teacher, no doubt about it, prepared for it, studied for it, brought stuff back from overseas in Spain so that I could be an amazing Spanish teacher. And God had other ideas. And part of me resented that for a while. And yet God has shown me that this is where I'm meant to be, even in a time where the church is really struggling. As an institution, I am still where I'm called to be. God knew what was right. And so I've learned that I can trust God to be doing the best for me and for the world, even if I can't always verify it myself. God knows better than I do. And by the same token, we've got to be able to work on our trust relationships with each other, to deepen that trust. And that comes by practicing, by having the tough conversations, even when we don't want to, by not turning our backs on the people who are close to us when they do something we can't understand or that hurts us, but by engaging with them, talking with them about it, exercising that trust to hold us together even through the hard conversations. And that happens all the time in our families and with our friendships and with our life partners, that we have to have those conversations. Sometimes we turn our backs on them. I'll talk about that this Sunday in our message, and what it looks like to reconcile and restore relationships. But to deepen that trust takes practice. It also means that we've got to be willing to be vulnerable, to be open with who we are, to lay our true selves in the hands of someone else, and to trust right? To have confidence that they will honor who we are, respect us, and treat us with integrity. Often when we begin a relationship, we don't know if the other person will be trustworthy. We're looking for those signs, for those markers that point us to the right answer. Do we trust? Do we not? But it's important to try. It's important to practice trust by putting it out there, because that's the way relationships are formed. So think about your life. How vulnerable are you willing to be with other people? Who are you the most vulnerable with? And is there room for you to continue to practice trust by either increasing the burden, deepening the relationship with those people already in your life, or by adding more people into trusting relationships? We need good companions to get us through life. And trust is a core component that has to be there for us to have those significant relationships. Blessings as you give thanks for all the people who are trustworthy in your life, and as you seek what God has for you next. Have a great week, everybody.